What's up guys, and welcome to the Scars channel. Today we're going to go through the 4 best vertical jump exercises to help you jump higher. Throughout my years of training, I've been doing a lot of research on this, and especially in the past 8 months or so, I've been doing a ton of different exercises to try to increase my vertical jump, road to 50-inch vertical coming soon. And I found 4 that are really good. I'm going to include some extras that could have made it to the list but weren't quite there, or it's hard to test how they translate to the vertical jump, but these are a surefire way to get your vertical jump increased. Let's begin. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow. You can leave a like, comment, help me out with the algorithm. You know how it is. Alright guys, exercise number 1 is jumping. So, as Michael Jordan said it, and perhaps the best way you can really put it, without going deep into the science behind it, is that if you do enough of something, then you're going to get better at it, and the same goes for jumping. If you're jumping day in, day out, well, every other day probably would be best, but if you're doing that and you're getting enough of a stressor on your body, then eventually over time, if you're going for higher and higher objects, you're going to increase your vertical. Alright, exercise number 2 is a banded back squat. Now these are great for a ton of reasons. You're going to work on your speed, your strength, your power, and all in this one exercise. The reason for this is because you're doing a back squat, okay, that's strength. You're putting the bands on it, so you're adding some power. And then if you lighten the load and go as fast as you can down and as fast as you can up, that's going to work on your speed. So the good thing about these squats is that the bands actually make it more difficult as you go up, which forces you to accelerate as you go up, or else you're going to feel the lift, right? And this is going to really translate well to jumping, because when you're jumping, you're accelerating all the way until your feet leave the ground, just like this lift basically. So it's going to translate really well. Just as a personal anecdote, I noticed that the stronger I get in this lift, the more springy I feel when I go and have a jump session. So basically, it's exactly what I just said. I accelerate better through my jump. I feel lighter than I actually am, all because of this exercise. And I say, whenever I go about 15 pounds heavier in this exercise for my max, I'll increase my vert by 1 inch. So just a personal anecdote, Exercise number 3, we have the trap bar deadlift. This is really good because it gets into joint angle specificity, as you're not going, so say you're doing a conventional deadlift, right? You're going to be squatting lower than you would be on a trap bar because the bar is raised a little bit higher. And since it's the side of you, on either side of you where you grab, you don't have to lean forward, and you're not leaking your power leaning forward compared to when it's on side of you and you can just focus on the forces up and down, right? So it's really good for that. And it also taxes your posterior chain, which is really important to be strong for a strong vertical. So say you have really strong legs but a weak back, a weak trunk, and weak core, you're going to jump, but you're going to be leaning forward, so you're going to lose some of the vertical and end up jumping forward. So with a strong back, core, and legs obviously, but a posterior chain in total, you're going to be able to, when you jump, stay more upright with your trunk, which is going to eventually lead to a higher vertical jump because you're putting more of your force upward instead of forward. Okay guys, exercise number 4, we have the banded rear foot elevated split squat. This exercise is amazing, guys. It does tax you a little bit. It taxes your joints more than a parallel squat would, because you're focusing a lot on your joints, you're strengthening your joints a lot. But it's a really good exercise for, again, joint angle specificity, because you're only going down to basically the height at which you're at your lowest point in your jump. So it's literally going to correlate right to your jump. And then studies have been done that shows that If you're moving the bar fast enough with enough load that you're actually producing more force during this exercise than you are with the jump, which is really hard to do because you're going so fast with when you're jumping with just your body weight. So it's going to translate because you're doing more force in the ground than you are when you're actually jumping. So it's a really good exercise for that. And then the bands, like I said, with the banded back squats, it's going to force you to accelerate. So the rear foot elevated split squat alone is going to produce more force than the jump, but adding bands is going to make you produce even more force because you're accelerating the whole way. And that's why it's such a great exercise. And I noticed that again with the banded back squat and this exercise, I'd say that like a 10-pound increase would increase my vertical by like 1 inch, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously you have to keep the form good, but very good results with this exercise. Okay guys, time for the honorable mentions. So number 1, I'm going to go with the depth jump. It's a really good exercise. It does tax you a little bit because you're using that reactive force, but doing a high depth jump or like a weighted depth jump where you have the barbell and like 10s on either side, when you're still able to be as fast as you can getting back off the ground, those are a great exercise to increase the vert. To me, they just kind of make me feel springy. I don't know how much they increase my vert because I'm more of a power jumper, but they do make me feel springy, so I have to give it to them for that. Next up, we have sprints. This is going to move more towards the 1-foot jumper, which is why I didn't include it as my 4 best vertical jump exercises. But it's really going to transfer to the 1-leg jump because obviously you're basically bounding as fast as you can off 1 leg. So there you go. And then lastly, we have the box squat jumps. I haven't been doing these lately, but they're a great exercise to increase your vertical jump. They are, especially with the home gym setting, it is kind of scary because you can work up to extremely heavy loads. But I'd say if you're going for like speed strength and you're doing like, I don't know, half your 1 rep max or like 2/3 of your 1 rep max, that it's really going to help translate to your vertical jump. So there you have it. Those are my honorable mentions. Those are my 4. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Peace and have a good day.